Welcome to the loop.
Somebody I didn't know.
Hey! Oh, are we live?
Hey, how's it going?
Is this a thing that's on the internet for real?
We're doing it. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
we exist.
I like how Kyle knew I was unprepared and he just dived in there.
Oh,
with
you know,
the, hey.
I mean, that's because we had to go. We're live.
Sometimes you gotta go. I mean, you can't help it. But when in those times, choose Depends. Tonight's show is brought to you by Depends. They figured a talk show about video games would be great for old people who don't know anything about video games.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
not
wearing them
true.
right now.
Old people is the largest growing segment of video gamers there is.
oh boy.
Oh.
Where's your facts?
Well, that's true because you.
I mean,
play.
how do you determine old people?
I don't know. Yeah, so
Sounds good. I liked it.
no, welcome to the Loop. This is a talk
Hey.
show about video games. We're so glad you joined us on this lovely occasion.
We're
This-
talking
you know,
about
Thanks for being here.
4 men living adult lives talking about children's playthings. It's a wonderful time to be a human. Obviously, we are joining you here wherever we may be. Maybe we're on your mobile device. Maybe it's a podcast.
We're on places, things.
Maybe it's on YouTube. Maybe it's on I don't know. Maybe it's on I don't know where else we might be. We might be on. Or maybe you're watching us on a TV. You're streaming us through a Twitch
Yeah,
app.
stream us through there.
Maybe you're
Cell
watching us on your
phone.
computer.
Computer.
But we really
On your
appreciate it.
Xbox.
Thanks for everybody for watching. We're gonna spend the next hour or so here just chatting it up about
Stuff.
gaming, culture, video gaming, the games, the things that Donald Trump blames for mass shootings, that sort of stuff. So we're excited to be here. Can't you tell by the tone in my voice?
So
if I wasn't
Yay!
excited, I wouldn't say I was excited. Do you ever notice how, like, now that we live in the post-YouTube world, everybody just says how excited they are about things?
I'm so excited.
Like, no matter what, it's, hey guys,
Just can't hide it.
I'm so excited to see you here, even though I'm actually just looking at camera by imagining your faces looking back. But actually, if like millions of people were looking back at me, it would be horrifying.
It's because you're trying to connect.
I understand that, but
People
it's
need
a
connection.
false connection.
But
And
that's
so-
the only kind of connection people have on the internet is a false connection.
I feel like there's
not
still room.
entirely.
I feel like there's room for genuine interaction, and maybe I'm just, I think I'm gonna just
Hashtag
do. I think
be blessed.
I think I'm gonna do my own I'm gonna do my own Trev talks here someday because it's not gonna be like Trevor, but I just need the camera.
We're going to call it Eric Blabs.
And I'm just gonna. That's good. That'll be good. Eric flabs his jaw, flaps his mouth hole. I just want to I just need to get things off my chest. It's like a grind my gears.
Yours is probably going to
segment.
be more like a traditional vlog.
How about we
right?
call it Get Off Eric's Chest?
Not me with
Yeah.
my chicken.
Just as long as you don't put the word "on" in there, that'll be great. So it's just the thing. Like there's just so much stuff out there in this world that drives me nuts. Whether it's about the internet and relationships on the internet and whatever.
You want to know
don't
what
know.
really grinds my gears?
Yeah, I just go into like a Peter monologue.
When you
I've never
don't
actually heard-
have proper lubrication on your gears?
Yeah, like
And-
oil.
Yeah.
And someone
When
throws
you don't
sand
have
on
oils.
it?
That would be technical.
So Trevi's here and he says Donald Trump more like all politicians right to now. I agree. Right to now.
Right to now.
Right to now.
right to now.
But anyways, I won't do that. You know what? I'm gonna save it all, and I'm just gonna record
Bottle it
it,
up.
and I'm gonna just explode in anger
Do it. Wait.
on a live stream. I don't know. Anyways, well, then we're gonna talk about video games, not politics. We never talk about politics because we're talking about video games, and politics is the furthest thing for video games. They never cross paths. Separation of the video games and state. That's
Yes.
what we are
That's
here
what we
and all
believe in.
about.
The only
Yeah.
politics I like to talk about for video games is Tropico. When my politics usually is just me assassinating my political opponents.
That's a
Is it
smart
character
game.
assassination,
That's a
though?
smart way to do it.
That guy doesn't like me. I think I'll kill him.
Yeah, I mean that's how the world works, and I think
really
it
is.
just shows that it just shows your awareness, Trevor, of the reality of things. It makes you a realist. You're not one of these head in the clouds cuckoo man. You just know that to make it in the world, you gotta you gotta make some assassinations.
Yeah.
Gotta assassinate him.
It's totally like real life. Video games
Eventually.
are exactly like real life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't that the argument? Never mind.
Let's not get into that. That would be too political. Let's not talk
Yeah,
about
we're not
that.
going to talk about
We're
politics.
not going to talk
tonight.
about
No.
that tonight.
I promise. All right. So what's everybody been playing? What video games have been on your hearts and minds?
Hitman has a new elusive target coming out in 2 days.
Oh,
I know most people don't care,
I'm
but they're still fun.
it's
I-
cool.
I enjoy
It's
them.
it's a great game.
I genuinely hear about them, and I'm just like, I should do that because those are so cool, but I never do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same.
Yeah.
I just always it's too much pressure for me, really, because then when I fail, I'm really upset
Then you're
with
like,
myself.
I'm not playing that game again.
Yeah, and then I don't play it again.
This game sucks.
It's been such a weird time because it's that weird lull where there's not really any real bangers out, and I get it, Monster Hunter, Trevor, I get it. It's still available to play.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it anymore. I got
Going
really
back
burnt
in
out
the
on
mail.
it. But I was trying to think of what I've been playing. And other than Sea of Thieves, because for some reason that's available every weekend.
Which is nice.
It is great and terrible at the same time.
They take it away from me. They give it and then they take it away. That game's great, and I think it kind of distracts me because I'm just like, I want to play that game. And I just haven't really been able to. I kind of like just bounce off things
Yeah.
left and right. I was actually got really into Skyrim on my Switch recently, and that game. It's just funny. Like it's like the Minecraft of RPGs in a way because it's on everything. You can like play it on your Apple Watch at this point, and like it's just such a cool game and a cool experience, and it's such an immersive game. I don't know. It's a weird. I tried to like pretend that it was lame because I hadn't played it in a long time. And then like playing on the Switch again, I was just like, yeah, it's pretty, it's pretty good. The combat I still don't enjoy the most. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
still a
not the
little
greatest.
rough, but just the way the adventures will play out and like the way you interact with people and these kind of crazy scenarios that can
just like real life.
happen, like accidentally, like just I don't know. Just I didn't mean to kill that guy, but I did. Or this
Whoops.
other NPC didn't mean to kill this NPC, but that just happened, and I guess.
I like when I at one point I had like fireball in one hand and then like
You got drunk?
resurrect,
Nice.
and so I
it's-
just was like blam, and then I'd resurrect them, and then I'd shoot something else, and then they would start attacking them, and I'd resurrect them, and I have a follower army of little like zombie people.
Or when you're a vampire, that's cool too.
Yeah.
I just like taxes. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for coming
Hey,
back.
yes.
Don't think I forgot you, camera guy. He knows you didn't forget him. Say hi, Kuipers.
Hello.
There he is. Or were you gonna say Kyle? Sorry.
I was gonna say I should probably invest a little more in that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's drawn me in the way that, and maybe it's because I never played it when it was first out, and it feels like it's.
An old
I mean,
game now?
you can feel that it's an older game. It's not that it's a bad game, but
You mean it feels like Fallout 4? So yeah,
yeah,
it
kind
feels
of.
like an
Yeah, it
old
feels
game.
like an old game. Yeah, it feels like Fallout 4 in that way. But
That's the thing. It feels like a Bethesda game, so I don't
That's
know.
true.
I mean,
Although-
the difference between Fallout 4 and that is not much in the way it controls and stuff like that. Like it's not. It's just that has
is
not
true.
changed that much.
Although Fallout 4, I expected to operate a lot smoother
Than it did?
did.
Yeah.
And
all
I feel
hoped.
like Prey kind of gave you a little bit of that because that's another Bethesda, but that's from Arcane,
you
so
finish
that
that
may
one?
have been.
It's a different.
I noticed
you didn't
engine.
play
in
It's
it. Did you
completely
finish it?
different engine.
Yeah, I'm almost done with
Almost
it.
done.
Almost
Yeah,
done with
I
it.
mean, you can't really compare Bethesda games in that aspect
Yeah,
because the
you're
engines
right.
are so different.
You're
Like,
right. I wish that those games ran as smoothly as Prey does most of the time. Let's hit a couple of chugging spots, which I didn't like, but
Prey's the same engine as
Dishonored.
right?
Yeah.
And then there's another game, isn't it, that's built on that engine? Bethesda
Probably.
I can't think of it because I think that Doom and Wolfenstein are the same engine.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think so, but I don't know.
So.
I could be wrong. I just like Taxis says, I just noticed your name is Men in a Tub.
Yes,
That's
that
true.
is us.
That's
We
us.
are
That's
the men in a tub.
We're in a wooden tub. This looks kind of like it could be. I'm just on Sea of Thieves on the brain, but our desk kind of looks like could be the side of a boat.
Yeah.
In a way, just kind of that wooden thing. Anyways, what else has everybody been
I
playing games and things?
made the decision
Oh boy.
I bought Payday 2 for my Switch.
Oh, Trevor.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that you spent a lot of money in Star Citizen.
No, I already did that. So
No, I know that. I meant
No
I meant
regret.
more.
Hashtag.
no, I haven't
ship
spent
has
a lot
sailed.
more money along. I kind of no.
Okay, so you
I
got Payday.
I picked it up because I was like, I thought it would be really cool to have like a first-person shooter, and it is
Like
as
Doom?
terrible as a little more like modern-ish first-person shooter. I like Doom, but like I wanted something a little more like aim down the sights and stuff. I don't know. And I've played it on the PC. I liked it. It's terrible on the Switch. They made a lot of really, really bad decisions. They've got like pop-in that comes in from like 10 feet away.
Mary?
You wish.
No,
Mary Poppin.
no, it's bad, and I wish it wasn't so bad because it's a good game, but yeah,
Yeah.
they made some poor decisions.
I think that's the other thing I was thinking of last night when I was playing Skyrim. I was just like, whoa, it is impressive how it smoothly. I mean, it maintains a close 30 frames on the Switch, which is impressive for that port.
And the load times aren't even that horrible. It's funny because I came off PC and I didn't even think about PC. I have a pretty nice PC, and so it just loads like.
Oh, do you? Tell me
super
more
fast.
about this nice PC.
I wasn't trying to rub it in. I was just saying it wasn't.
Yeah, tell us more.
That my load times were very fast.
Tell us more about the
times.
load.
And so it loaded so fast.
how big
I
is-
didn't even have time to read the tooltips.
Tell me how big,
Oh my.
tell me how big your
snap.
buffer is.
Yeah.
Buttery smooth.
Yeah, I never
No.
like the idea of Payday to me is cool. Like, go rob banks with your friends.
Yeah.
But then
It was kind of
I've
cool
just,
originally.
I've just never had a good experience playing it though. Like
Yeah.
I've never had that experience in my head that I think it's going to be like
This should be better than this.
yeah,
is.
it's just
Yeah.
never
I played it a lot of single player and I kind of enjoyed it. So I haven't really played it much, but I was just like, it's only 40 or whatever I think it was.
yeah.
Maybe did I pay more? That was a bad decision. I'm probably gonna turn it back in, but and then I've been in a really weird mood, and so I actually went back to Mad Max, the video
Decided
game.
to finish that.
Yeah, and it's such a good game.
Yeah.
And it got so overlooked because that's the one that came out at the same time as.
I mean, imagine being an MGS5
Yeah.
Shadow like
and I mean, compared to Metal Gear Solid 5, it was nothing.
yeah.
But it's still a really, really cool game, and it's so much fun. And
Cuz that's the same people that did
Just Cause.
Just Cause, but they also did Warner Brothers. They did the Lord of the Rings thing that came out too.
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of War, right? Because if you notice it, they have a lot of similarities between Just Cause, Max Payne, and the Shadow of War. I thought it was they were.
Monolith.
Oh, is it different?
Was
Maybe it's
the
the same
one who-
publisher. Is that what I'm thinking?
Same publisher. It's all WB.
But did you know?
You just fell into a
some of it was
classic
WB.
Kyle trap.
But do you know about those? But it seems like the WB games they borrow a lot of the same like gameplay styles because the way that the maps work, the way that like even with Max Payne, it just I think that was the downside of that game is that or not Max Payne, Mad Max. It just seems like it was like okay, it's just this one kind of thing you did, and it just recycles it over and over.
Yeah,
and
it's
over and
definitely
over again.
very grindy or whatever. But I loved. It's if you enjoy that kind of grind, it's a really good game, and it's very, very pretty. I took some screenshots that I'm gonna put up sometime.
I like that you have to get gas.
Oh yeah, I love getting the gas is good because it's just like it kind of I don't know it makes it so. And then just like there's so many like little things that they did the way you start up the car and it just it sounds very muscly, And
How'd that
there's
go
like-
again?
I'm not gonna do it
Very
again.
muscly.
My throat's a little weak. Otherwise, it might have been a little bit maybe better. But then like the fire that goes out. I don't know. It's just so cool.
So Trevor's saying that he thinks that Just Cause kind of it sucks, but I don't know that I would
love
agree
Just
with
Cause.
Just
I
Cause
don't agree.
3.
I think they're great.
I think I mean I'll say I'd prefer a Mercenaries 3 game, like you said, because I loved the Mercenaries games.
I mean, if
However,
it was like a sequel to Mercenaries 1, I would totally be down to Mercenaries 3. But if it's a sequel to 2, no, thank you.
I liked 2, but yeah.
I mean,
don't know.
just,
it wasn't
2's
as good as
fine, but
1.
man, 1 was really, really
One was
good.
really good.
That's,
I just want Pandemic to be alive again.
but
'cause
they're dead. Rest in peace.
I liked they made the Saboteur, and I loved that game. It was definitely like the production quality was lower, but it just was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, what have you been playing? Anything?
Nah,
Trucks.
a little bit of
Do you have some truck games?
no.
Some dirt bike games?
I'm still doing a little bit of the Metal Gear
Survive?
Survive.
Is that getting any better or not really?
I finally got to the first like horde mode wave of
Oh.
attacks on my base
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And
Wait, did you just get to the first one?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
I haven't been playing too much of it.
Yeah.
and I think because it is kind of brutal and very grindy.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not in the mood for a grindy game right now.
Yep. Yeah.
So-
That's a bad game to be.
Yeah, so I just haven't been. It's like I started up and then I kind of stopped playing it again. So nothing much this week.
That's a bummer.
I know.
Kyle, you've been playing?
Just pray and trying to progress my NBA career to try and become the hoop god. And I did. I don't know if I had mentioned this last week or not. I started that Telltale Batman game that was free on PlayStation a month or two ago.
I think you tried to mention it, and we probably told you to shut up.
I don't know. It's I like it as a change of pace. Like I wouldn't want to play that type of game all the time, but as something that's just a little bit different, and maybe it's because I haven't really played any of those all the way through. I was pretty entertained so far with it. So I don't know. We'll see if I keep going once the Sea of Thieves actually comes out.
I like the Batman one because it kind of followed more of Bruce Wayne's storyline. It told the story a little different. It didn't focus too much on my parents are dead. Like I was definitely a little bit of a story beat in there, but I didn't get. I think I got to the second episode, but I kind of fell off of it.
Yeah,
but
I think
I played the Borderlands Adventure from Borderlands one, the first episode of that one. And I've been meaning to play through the whole thing because it was like that one was just like so good. I loved that first.
because they're kind of like taking it back. Like they laid off people and they're not-
I don't think they're doing as many of them, but I like the idea of watching something that it's almost like a choose your own adventure book, but with a video game controller in front of you and a screen that's playing it out. So I mean, it's cool for a change of pace. It's not something that I'd want to play all the time.
Yeah, I like the slow pace of those games. I think they were fun, but it was like once you played one of them, you started to realize, oh boy,
they're all the same
This is
type
all
of thing.
kind of the
Yeah.
same thing, and you don't really have control over your character that much, and like I don't know, but all right, well there you have it. That's what we've all been up to this week. It's such a thrilling time to be playing video games. I mean, see, I feel like the last half of this month is kind of
Oh
crazy
my
because
gosh.
we got Far Cry 5, we got Sea of Thieves is huge. We got A Way Out, which I didn't realize that was
pretty good.
a budget title, which is cool. I appreciate a
Oh,
$30
nice.
game.
Oh, wow.
And
I was
it's
thinking
only got
about
to
putting
be
that one
like
Yeah, we only
one
have to
person.
spend $60 between the group of us to play that.
Oh,
And each of us can, so everybody pick a partner. and then decide who's going to spend the $60. Oh,
I guess I'm stuck with you.
I guess
He's buying.
Trevor's buying.
It's a competition. Who can make it out first?
Yeah.
I'll give you $15.
Okay, yeah, I'm in.
Kyle, get on GameFly.
Yes, I should.
No, but I do want to play through that. We should do dual streams of that on like.
same
could
time.
we do it like on
Split
personal accounts
screen?
like somehow like
Maybe.
I don't know how we'd do that, but
Well, we would do it. Yeah, we could do it. We'd do 2 separate accounts, and then we'd host both of those accounts in a
I
single
don't
frame.
think you could.
on minute yeah we
Yeah.
could.
Oh,
We can
okay.
totally do it.
That sounds like a nightmare.
The delay would
And then
be insane, but
Yeah.
we could totally do it.
Well, we could all get our audio in through Discord and just talk to each other that way. So at least our conversation wouldn't be
Over.
delayed
Yeah.
back and forth.
Well, we could have Kuipers running the
Kuiper's
stream.
correct. Yeah,
And he
it'll
could
only
cut-
be like at a
he could-
7-hour stream. It'll
Yeah,
be
and he
fine.
could cut between them periodically.
Yeah, that's-
oh,
yeah.
let's check in on Eric and Kyle and see where they're.
We could
at,
have Nathan be like the
host?
The
shoutcaster.
MC. Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, we got Trevor and Jeremy. They're just breaking out of the prison. Oh wait, that's early because Kyle and
Whoa.
Eric they're still like busy like shivving things in the prison."
They're trying to figure out how to get out of their cell.
And
No,
like,
they
all right.
figured it out 10 minutes ago.
All
but
right, then they're
just
like, let's check
shipping
back
things.
in with Kyle and Eric here. Oh, looks like, they're out of the prison. And it looks like Trevor and Jeremy credits are rolling. Good job, guys. Good job. That's like,
That would be what it would.
gonna-
Yeah, that's
Well,
kinda
guys,
how
we
it'll play
we
out.
probably have another hour or two here on the Eric and
yeah.
Kyle's side.
Let's go
so
full screen to
stick
that.
with it.
And then
Yeah.
Kuipers can go take a nap.
then Kuiper's taking that.
Anyways, that game looks cool. But so yeah, 3 pretty big games coming out at the end of the month. I'm intrigued by all of them. But let's talk about the games coming out this week, shall we?
Games of the week. We know you can't wait to get your grubby little hands on them.
I was wondering if Kuiper's actually went and took a nap.
Oh, be nice. He was only delayed by like a split second, Kyle. You be nice to Kuiper. Kuipers, give me Diet Coke. All right, this next one. It says Devil May Cry HD Collection. It comes out on March 13th. PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
You can shoot this clergyman in the face.
Nothing better than Pope murder. All right, there's Golem. That's coming out for PSVR. That looks like a game where there's like big giants and you get to belittle and harass them. You get
Yeah.
to poke them.
Made out of rocks.
And then that's going to be That's also March 13th. Well, all these games are coming out the 13th.
Yep.
That's like Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Next Tuesday. Obviously, because it's Tuesday already happened this week. And then one other game. Man, this is it. This is it this week, huh?
That
It's a
is
light
it.
week.
I searched.
Pure farming.
Yeah.
Well, that's
is like-
obviously what we've all been waiting
Which
for.
is like the 3rd farming simulator this year, and it's March.
Jeremy,
Can't get
which
enough
one's
of
the
that
best?
farming.
I don't know. But
Jeremy,
I
there's
mean,
tractors.
Hey, Trevor, where'd you find this thumbnail?
I
mean, was it a postage
I
stamp?
thought it was fine when I grabbed it. It's been doing that ever since Google was stupid.
Yeah, Google is.
I don't know. All of the ones on Thursday still look
There's
good.
there's
so.
another one that
Is-
either is coming out today or came out earlier this week that we didn't catch, called Frantics, that I got an email from PlayStation about.
I
This
saw
is one
that
of their
too.
PlayLink party games. It looks like it's essentially a bunch of weird claymation type
we
of
had that.
characters. Did we have that last week?
Because I specifically remember
Yeah, that's right.
having
Oh,
the
okay.
claymation thing.
I just didn't realize what it was, and
I mean-
it looks like it's kind of a Mario Party.
Here, let me give you a quick
Okay.
breakdown of some of the games that are really coming out still.
Yeah.
We got Root Double. That's coming out on March 8th. That's before Crime After Days. It looks like one of them waifu games. Then we got Styradin Binary Mars. That's coming out on the Switch. Binary Stars, rather. That's March 8th. Then also March 8th, you got Bleed 2 coming out on the Switch. You got iZombie on the Switch. This is really just Switch games.
Where did
I
they,
thought I
why
already
none of
was
these
out
show
on
up on
that.
my list?
You got ACA Neo Geo Real Bout Fatal Fury coming out March 8th on the
Because
Switch.
none of them are good.
Apparently, I don't know where to look.
The Men of Yoshiwara is coming out on the Switch on March 8th. We got a lot of Switch games on March 8th. And then he still goes again.
Kuipers, something from the bottom row, please.
Anyways, Earthlock is coming out on the Switch March 8th. Bit Dungeon Plus March 8th on the Switch. You got One-Eyed
One-Eyed Jack?
Cthulhu? Cayuth? I don't know.
Spanx.
People eat it.
Kotaku.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Anyways,
Trevor.
that's out on March 9th on the Switch, the PS4, and the PS Vita. And then we got Spy Chameleon. That just looks fantastic. Not really. On the 9th, coming out on the Switch. Also, Flint Hook is on the 9th.
What?
On the Switch.
Holy.
So a lot of games come out on the Switch. Oh, wait, we still got more coming out on the PC. You got Lost in the Dungeon. That comes out on PC. You got
How far are we going?
Dan Maku Unlimited. Oh, we're done, right? Oh, we got to go to Tuesday,
We gotta
right?
Go to the Tuesday,
13th.
the 13th.
So you got Dan Maku Unlimited 3. That's coming out on the Switch. I don't even know what these are. I could be making all of these up. Nobody has a clue. It'd just be like, you got Rubby Doo Rash Man coming out. No, I'm just kidding. That's not a real game.
Let's make a game. It's coming out next week.
Crazy waifu games.
Then you got Spiral Splatter.
Oh.
That's coming out on March 13th on the
Sounds
Switch.
like a real game.
One more game on the Switch.
These are real.
On March 13th called Coffin Dodgers. It looks like a kart racer. I'm sure it's full of fun for hours. And that's it. So,
Yeah.
anyways, a lot of Switch games.
Which games galore?
And Toga Party.
It's funny
is
how that
coming
thing
out.
has become like shovelware central since it's
There is
come out.
so
Like,
much stuff that is coming out on it all the time, and I did see I didn't see a story or whatnot, but they are now giving you your gold Nintendo points.
Yeah, I know,
You can
right?
you can roll that over as a discount when you buy something.
Is that on a story tonight?
It's not.
Okay.
It's not. You earn gold coins when you purchase. So if you buy something for $60, you get yourself 300 gold
So
coins.
it's like $3 off. the
And
next
they're
year.
like each gold coin is essentially a penny.
Okay, so here's what's terrible about that, right? I was
Let's hear
super
it.
excited because I got that email and I started looking into it because I was like, oh, I got like $9. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Which, second of all, I should have way more than $9 from the games I bought on the Switch if I got $3 for every one of them. But the coins expire, so that's bad. Number one,
course they
that's
do.
the poopy thing. Number one. Number two is I looked at the Switch store, and now by all the prices they have the gold coin thing by it, and it says max gold coin redemption 300 coins or 200
So
coins.
you can't bank
or
them and buy
50 coins.
So you can't bank them.
No.
And buy a game
so
with them.
every game has it's based
Yeah,
on
you
how
get a
much
discount.
it's based
That
on how much the
sucks.
game costs. And so then like if it's like a $15 game, you can get 40 cents off of this. It's
Really?
like, really? Are you kidding me? So it's pretty lame. But it's a great idea. I guess if you're like, I saved $3, you can feel good about that. But
Yeah.
still, I guess what is that? What is that discount? Like, what would that be? If you pretty much, for here on out, on a $60 game, you get $3 off forever. That's not even 10%, is it?
5%.
5%. Yeah, 5% discount. So there you go. That it is very misleading. I dislike
Yeah, I
taxes.
dislike says it's
That's
misleading
so-
as Fred.
That's so
Fred is
dumb.
the most
Fred is the
misleading.
most misleading,
So that's
so,
very true.
yeah.
That checks out. Yeah, so beware. I mean, okay. I do feel good. You don't get charged tax on those digital downloads. So, I don't feel terrible. I get, $57 instead of $60, whatever.
Sure.
But it's still, it's not great. That does it for our games this week. Let's jump into that news.
Keeping you in the loop with the latest gaming news.
All right, and like we promised at the top of the show, no politics. We will never mix politics with video games. We couldn't do that to you. We promise.
Your fake news.
What?
Wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, okay. Well, I guess I'm wrong. Thanks to the dailybeast.com, it's reporting that Trump plans to blame video games for gun violence. Now, this may sound like an old headline to people and say, oh, yeah,
What is this, the 50s?
That happened like 2
Now
weeks
there's
ago.
a meeting scheduled tomorrow.
Video games-
Tomorrow.
Video games are bad.
But like a whole bunch of people are like they still don't know who all's going to be at this meeting.
Yeah,
right?
no one knows who's going to be at this meeting.
All right, Kyle, take it away.
They've got a meeting that's supposed to be happening tomorrow. The list of people
With gaming
no one's
execs,
able
right?
to get the information of who is actually going to be in there. Any industry sources that are actually planning on going say that they're worried that the session will be an ambush and an effort to scapegoat them for shootings in schools.
Because it's supposed to be industry officials, right?
But
for
yet, at the
gaming.
same time, when they're talking to industry officials and trying to get industry officials to say, who's going to be there, there's a large chunk of them that you would think of that haven't their response was, "We don't have any invitation."
There's like one guy who's like a video game critic who's going to be there. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
they said
Do we know who that is?
there was a name in there.
Yeah, let me try and find that. They did say industry leaders were caught off guard by the announcement, with the leading trade group, the Entertainment Software Association, or EA, right, saying in a statement shortly
EA.
after. Isn't that EA?
Nope.
No, that's electronics art.
Oh, you're right.
Arts.
You're right.
What
You're
are
right.
What are you talking about, Kyle?
Sorry, stroked out there.
That's not a joking matter.
It's
If
not
you
a
have
joking matter.
hypertension, please seek a doctor's assistance.
a-
You could take some medication so you don't have a stroke.
Or just keep drinking orange sodas.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Entertainment Software Association said in a statement shortly after that it had received no invitation to such event. So there's large chunks of people that are not showing, or that are not even invited. Let me see if I can find the guy's name.
Fred
Let's
Savage.
see.
It's the guy from the Wonder Years.
I don't know. You don't remember who it was, Jeremy?
No. Anyways,
No.
Jeremy, what do you think's going to happen? What's going to come from all this? I mean, you're kind of our resident politics guru. I'll give you that.
I think nobody knows, right? Because
Yeah.
look at the last couple of weeks. Trump had a very similar public, media event with a bunch of people, about other gun stuff, and he just on one side was like, "Oh, all these restrictions are great. Who cares about due process? We'll figure that out later." And then the White House comes back and goes, "Whoa, pump
Hold
the
on.
brakes." That's not what he meant to say.
like due
right?
process is kind of important, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And so who knows? It's probably going to be a big splash of nothing.
I hope so.
I just hope I know
Or a
that
big splash, and then a week later it'll be nothing.
during like the big hot coffee debacle with GTA 3, Jack Thompson, he was a big poster boy for bad video games are ruining our children, and but I think he got disbarred or something like that for something. So he's not really around. But I was just hoping maybe he'd just show up for fun.
Video games are bad.
I mean, he could be a politician, right? You don't have to have your law license to be a politician.
I mean, most of them do.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's so exhausting sometimes to deal with this, because it's just it's a thing of, let's blame the stuff we don't understand for problems that maybe we still don't understand. And I get that a lot of people want to just say, it's easy. It's the easy answer. Get rid of the guns, right? That's the easy answer. That's what people want to say, and that's what they want to argue. Like this, there's a stupid conversation to have. Obviously, the guns are the problem, right? That's the equation. But the honest truth there is, like, that's not necessarily the easy way out. Like it's not. It's not the easy answer. As much as we want it to be, it's not.
It's not the answer that's going to solve it. That's the...
I mean, you could make it harder to get guns. You can make it... I mean, you look at... I mean, I don't want to get too much on the whole gun debate, but you look at this last incident, and you look at all the times that the FBI or the local police were contacted about this individual, and how many times they failed. And they, they failed the people that they were sworn to protect. And so I get the argument, but it's so complicated, and when you're dealing with death and the death of loved ones, people and kids too, it's kids. It's so hard to just come in and be like, well, guns are cool, so whatever. Like, you can't. That's so insensitive. Like, and I get that, and I understand their pain and their anger and like their frustration and like, why can't we do something? It's just it's such a hairy situation to navigate.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, I mean, like they say in this article, there's a lot of different things that are being thrown at this. There's John Feinblatt, who is the president of Everytown for Gun Safety, told the Daily Beast on Tuesday, I think you have to look at you only have to look at Canada. They see the same video games that Americans do. They get all the same cultural signals, and they don't have the problem with gun violence as we do. It's in the end, it's not about video games.
What are their gun laws like, though, in Canada?
I don't know. I don't think that they
Jeremy
have the
knows,
same
right?
access.
It's a lot more restricted.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
So that's why. So obviously, it's the gun rules.
Right. But I mean,
they also have healthcare, free healthcare. So
Free, unless you're old or you have a pre-existing
well, you have to wait
condition.
in line.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 2 years.
But then you
If
have
you
what
die, well, then it's cheap
Yeah.
for us.
Well,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
But I
true.
mean, still,
Just like Texas says, I'm in Canada.
are you?
okay.
Wild things.
You have taxes there too.
Sorry about that. That was.
Trevor,
I have nothing against Canadians.
Stop
It's-
calling the Canadians wildlings.
It's just a super
bad
funny
enough
joke from old-
when Crazy Legs is in the chat and says
Yeah.
it. You don't need to.
Yeah, don't
Is the
perpetuate
watcher on
that.
the wall.
perpetuate it. No, and then
Sword in the night.
in this, you've also got this quote from Trump that said, we have to look at the internet because a lot of bad things are happening to young kids and young minds, and their young minds are being formed. I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts, which it also goes on to say that this is something that has been a point for the NRA ever since the Sandy Hook incident in 2012, and Wayne LePere, the group's executive vice president, went right at the video game industry then and said, there exists in this country, sadly, a callous, corrupt, and corrupting shadow industry that sells and sows violence against its own people through vicious, violent video games with names like Bulletstorm, Grand Theft Auto, Mortal Kombat, and Splatterhouse, he said. Guns don't kill people. Video games, the media, and Obama's budget kill
You know what?
people.
I played a lot of Mortal Kombat, and I did go out and do mass babalities to people.
yeah.
It was really tragic. I turned a bunch of adults into babies.
Oh man, brutal.
Yeah, and then like a big deep voice every time I did it was like, babality, and it was.
I have a lot of things I can say, but I don't know if I want to say them. Just
Which Trevor would like to let everyone know that the new Trev Talks is going to be out Saturday on youtube.com/minutehub, where you can hear his hot take on gun violence and video games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Trevor could,
Detailed take.
he's been researching this, and we got like a good 9 minutes. It looks like I heard a little bit of it. I didn't get a chance to listen to all of it, but it sounds like it might be pretty good.
It is 9 minutes.
Question. I haven't listened to any of it yet. Do you get really fired up?
No.
Okay, so you're still just regular Trevor.
Getting fired up would be the the reason why.
Turns into
'Cause
Alex
it's
Jones.
supposed
with
to
a
be
6-minute
very
hour.
I'm trying to be very level and like
Trevor,
fair
no one on the
and
internet
stuff.
is level and fair.
You're saying fact based?
yes.
What?
Imagine that.
That doesn't
Wait.
hold any water.
Are you
going to
say cool, calm, and collective and still have that sweet jazz music behind it?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Maybe I'll put metal music behind it.
No,
No, because that's violent music.
Actually,
Someone will murder
that would be a
someone
good
from watching
opener.
your video.
Yeah.
it is interesting to look at Canada and see that they do have less gun violence with stricter gun laws. Now, Jeremy, being a proponent of guns heavily, or not that's a bad thing. I'm just asking, like, what is your hot take on why that works for Canada, but you don't think that would work for America? And I'm not trying to set you up or anything. I'm just curious what you think, or do you think it doesn't work?
I don't know.
And that I dislike
I
taxes as a liar.
I haven't done enough research on violence in general in Canada, but you can look at CDC reports for numerous other countries like Australia, and a lot of people say that they're great because they have very restrictive gun laws. But then again, they have higher. You have a higher
Kangaroo
chance
crime.
of you have a higher chance of being raped there. You have a higher chance of being mugged there than you do in the United States, and some people could attest that to be the
big
fact that
kangaroos.
they know that there's less people who might be armed, so there's more potential to be a victim.
If
They
you've been
could be armed with tasers.
If you've been assaulted by a kangaroo, please
There you
visit
go.
rourape.com. There's not there.
That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. That was really bad. You should probably.
Have you seen those
apologize for it.
kangaroos? They're terrifying.
They are really
They're very
scary.
muscular.
That's true. Kangaroos are scary.
Oh
They
my
muscle
gosh,
bound.
There's a lot of violence there
Like
They'll
towards
kick you.
people.
That's
Legs
true.
to like.
It's hard. It is. I just like Texas says different cultures.
Yeah.
It's true, but it is weird. It is a weird thing. I mean, what's the population look like compared, like us versus Canada? Are we quite a bit higher? I
I'm
wonder.
going to assume so.
Yeah.
We are higher, but I.
They have more land mass.
I think what really ticks me off about all of this is the fact that it's this idea that because you have played a video game or watched a movie or listened to a song, that you suddenly have this urge to go and actually do what you did in a video game, as if no one on Earth really can distinguish reality from this actual game. Like the fact that if you, I mean, any time that I have ever been with friends at like a shooting range or something, holding that is a completely different experience than firing up my Xbox and sitting in a chair in sweatpants and playing Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, but there's triggers and it rumbles.
There are triggers and it rumbles, but
You're being desensitized to violence. Mm-hmm. Now
Every
you
time
want to
it
kill
rumbles,
people.
you want to murder. You want to kill all of us in this room.
I mean, shouldn't that be an argument that says that these things cause people to just drive off the road in the middle of daylight if they're playing any of these games where you drive cars?
my wife argues
Whoever
that whenever
drives on
I
them.
play games that I drive violently in, that it causes me to drive more aggressively in real life. She has claimed that.
You
I
know,
don't
if you
believe
watch-
her.
I don't believe that.
Fake news.
Just because I went and saw,
Maybe it's true.
a movie that had people driving cars like crazy, and I go get in my car. Yeah, for a split second I go, that would be cool, but then I'm a realist and I don't do it.
After you hit a pole.
Let's see. I don't want to die in a car wreck here.
Yeah, it's a weird. It's just I don't know. I get the osmosis, I guess, that they are trying to kind of
Right.
parse together
But
here,
I mean,
but it's not.
If we're being entirely honest and we're talking about like a Grand Theft Auto game, okay, in that game,
Prostitutes,
I have
murder,
murdered so many more
drugs.
people with vehicles by not driving on the actual road than with guns.
That's because it's
And yet-
kind of harder to drive in that than it is in real world.
No, but you also are trying to drive like 90 miles an hour in a
Take a
place that
corner.
you would have 25-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Truth.
So, there's such a disconnect between reality with these things
Well,
that
I feel like honestly I'm a perfect case study of how video games don't cause violence in real life, because I'm a pretty terrible person in video games. I've done some pretty bad things.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it's like I am a very, very, I'm no pacifist, but I have never really felt honestly tempted to hurt anybody.
Yeah. You've threatened a lot. but-
I threaten all the time.
yeah,
It's,
you're
you
all
know,
bark, no bite.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
they
we
call
just
you
punch
Trev
'em.
Dog.
shut up, Trev Dog.
I'm a bad person in Dungeons and Dragons as well.
Well, that's what they're coming after next. After they eliminate all the video games,
D&D turns
then
people
all the
into
Dungeons and
murderers.
Dragons will be done because they're
Celebrating the cult.
Yeah, they're going to learn how to do witchcraft, just like everybody that's played.
I do learn
Watch Dogs
witchcraft.
knows how to hack everything.
Oh, I did learn how to hack to watch.
I mean, you press X.
You press X.
X.
Also, watching Harry Potter made me a wizard. Every time I go to
will-
the bathroom.
So you wanted a few Canadian stats here,
Ex-urinosis.
Eric. A couple of Canadian gun stats here for you.
Okay, gun stats from
Gun
Canada.
stats.
Oh, boy.
The U.S. has roughly 3 times as many firearms per 100 people.
The
So-
U.S. does?
Yeah, so roughly 3 times as many guns in the United States as there is in Canada. And firearm suicide is roughly twice that in the United States as it is in Canada.
Okay.
So Canada has 1/3 as many guns, but suicide by firearms, they have 50% as many. Okay.
In Canada.
In Canada. So they have less guns, 30% as many guns, but 50% as many firearm related suicides.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the guns they have are more often used in suicide than they are in the United States.
Okay.
By
Okay.
those numbers. And then if we look at total suicides in Canada compared
Suicides
to
or total deaths?
total suicides compared to gun related deaths in the United States, they're almost identical.
So you're just
So
saying,
you have an equal chance of committing suicide in Canada as you do as getting shot by a gun in the United States.
but suicide by gun specifically in Canada.
No,
That doesn't account for
no,
other-
no.
That
all
doesn't account for
suicides.
others.
Oh, it
That's
counts.
all suicides
in Canada. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
You have 50%.
they do say in the,
half as
the
many
winter is
suicide
like
by
when
gun.
people have the most depression, and if you
True.
live in Canada beyond the wall, it's always winter. So,
But so what you're saying there is that the majority of gun violence is self-inflicted in Canada, comparatively.
Comparatively, yes.
Larger chunk.
Yeah.
So
When someone has a
When
gun,
someone
there's
has
a
a
higher
gun
chance they're going to use it to
on
hurt
themselves.
themselves in Canada than they will in the United States.
It's dark. It's messed up. It's
Americans
a
are
scary.
jerks.
It's a scary world that we live in sometimes.
Yeah.
And we all want to like have an answer. I get it. I understand. I think we all understand.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Wow, that's a big, long bunch of words that someone put in the chat. Thank you. I dislike text.
I actually like it. It's pretty good.
It's
I've heard
kinda
this
terrible.
With,
at the
I've heard
same
this
time.
with many other things.
Yeah.
First
first
they
it came
come.
for the Nintendos.
Well, the original was talking about the Nazis coming from people.
Yeah.
I think it was the Nazis. I think, right?
So go ahead and say it for our audio listeners.
First they came for the Nintendos, and I did not speak out because I did not have a Nintendo. Then they came for the Xboxes, and I did not speak out because I did not have an Xbox. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me.
They didn't come for the PlayStations,
Yay.
That's who was speaking. Was PlayStation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
PlayStation was coming for everybody.
Yeah. well,
Yeah.
yeah. If we looked at stats on that, never mind.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. There's no simple answer. That's the hard part. But that also means that that's what we're gonna say, and then we'll just move on and nothing's gonna happen. So no change will be made. It's just a hard thing to answer, and we'll just move
Oh,
on.
he'll make a deal.
What's he
He
gonna
always gets a deal.
do? Who, Trump?
He'll tariff something.
This has been the worst trade deal.
Who's the guy? There's a guy, some
my
state.
goodness.
There's some state. He's saying, I was
Our
like,
pop cans are going to get more expensive, guys.
I know, because the aluminum. It's gonna go up. Well, they said
3
like
cents a can minimum.
The Illuminati.
no.
We already
I-
spend more if you buy it in Iowa.
but still,
No, you get.
that's a deposit.
You don't even know. Oh
If you
my
get-
goodness.
But
That's
how
true.
many people actually get?
I never
get
return
their
those. Sorry.
deposit back.
I return them sometimes.
we
Anyways,
return them here in the studio.
good job.
Do you
There.
have a studio fund?
No.
Yeah, I you're right. I
That's
buy
me.
most of the pop that goes in there. You're right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's right. See, why don't you help out?
I do help out.
Jeez. I just buy stuff that nobody likes and drink
Yeah,
that. Cheers.
like that whole. There's a whole shelf in there.
I mean,
that,
there's
that
still
you are
half
the
a
only one
case
that drinks.
Well,
Of
that's.
Diet Coke from when you bought it 6 months ago.
I can't help that you guys have terrible taste in soda. That's just works out in my favor.
Hey, speaking of the devil, Kuipers,
Oh gosh.
Oh, sure. Now you want one.
Orange Pop.
Did you just call Kuipers the devil?
Yeah.
I think he said you're the devil.
No, I think he said that the soda was the devil.
I don't know. Yeah.
For those listening, he's just pointing at the fridge
But no, there was a.
menacingly.
There was a senator.
I didn't want one.
There was a senator somewhere who was saying he's trying to impose a tax on M-rated and above games, which
Well,
is
and
funny
then-
because there's so many NC-17 games out there people buying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's gonna actually. I mean, there's no way. I just don't see how that's gonna work because it was
won't,
like a
yeah.
10% tax or something like that on M-rated games.
Well, it'd have to go pretty high because the Supreme Court has them. Video games are protected the same way as art, literature, and movies
Because they are the same.
because they're the same.
Video
And,
games are art. You heard it here.
And
Wrong.
the only success that the court has like video game restrictions has found in the court is through like individual sentencing.
Oh.
Like the kid who was sentenced to not play violent video games by the one judge. That was fairly recent.
Is this all going to be covered in Trevor Cox?
No, I didn't talk
okay.
about it. I talked more about the major cases. That one I didn't really mention just because
It's boring.
well, it's the only that's the thing to know is that the U.S. courts, if there has been any advancements, it has been minor. There
Yeah.
are no restrictions on video games, and the Supreme Court says so. So
Dungeon Master Paul says Duke Nukem is the highest art I've ever experienced.
He's talking about the original.
I'm going to chop off your head and crap down your throat.
It's the creme de la creme.
Yeah, Duke Nukem. Long live Duke. All right, the next story comes from EuroGamer.net. It says the Sea of Thieves in-game sounds super cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of information that has been released recently about what is going to happen within Sea of Thieves. So we'll try to break it down real fast for you here. There's going to be 3 different factions that you can work for when the game actually goes live. So in the beta, they only had the gold one. There's also going to be a merchant one, and then there's going to be a mystic.
I thought you were going to say a murder one. I was getting really excited.
Well, one of them's kind of a murder.
I think there is one that is going to be kind of a murder one.
I think that's the one you go to the forts for, or something like that.
I'm trying to. There's the Order of Souls, the Gold Hoarders, and the Merchant Alliance. So my guess is that the Order of Souls is going to be go pick up a bounty or something. You've got the Gold Hoarders, which is going after what you went through in the beta if you've played that. And then there's going to be the Merchant Alliance, where you'll be doing all kinds of different things, even down to collecting live animals.
Yes,
So there's like
and
pigs and chickens and snakes that are poisonous. That
Can you let them
they've
out
said-
and let them out on your
the
boat?
snakes.
They said that
they're
the
all
snakes,
in cages.
if you're playing music,
bummer.
the snakes will be docile. So that you can
Otherwise,
catch
they
them.
will.
Oh, man.
Otherwise, they will attack you when you try to carry the cage.
What if you?
And they're
Wait.
saying you can use those to like secure your treasure.
Right, you can set that down in front of your treasure, so that if anyone
if
tries
they get on
to
your
board
boat and try to sneak off with your
You've got a
gold,
snake.
they have to first play an instrument in order to stop.
because the snake can still bite you through the cage.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't take the snake out of the cage.
I'm sure you could,
you're-
but I don't think you want that
no,
to happen on your
you
boat.
trade them with one of the
I want
three.
some mother freaking snakes on my mother friggin' ship.
Oh, boy.
Here's the question.
Just-
What if Kyle is drunk and he starts playing music as usual?
He's gonna
That'll
fall
probably
into the snakes anyway.
That's
Hey,
it.
let's be fair. I was not drunk at all when I was playing with Jeremy this weekend.
Did it?
True story.
But so you could technically
Right.
you could have like Noah's Ark.
I
Just
think
snakes
you
and pigs
potentially
and
could.
chickens, because that's the kind of ship I want to
Yes.
captain.
Yes, you potentially
I
could.
just want animals running amok everywhere.
Then you just guilt him. You're just like, you're not gonna kill a ship full of animals.
Yeah, right.
Oh, shoot! No, but with this, then each person is going to be able to level up within any of those 3 that they're doing missions for. So the higher that you get, like in the beta, the further that you got within the Gold Hoarders, the better missions you got. The more in depth they were as far as like the maps and whatnot. You're going to get the same type of thing with those. Once you reach a certain point, it'll give you the option to get into a secret pirate hideout. Where there's going to be ghosts of legendary pirates, and that's where you hit a legendary. You will become a legendary pirate.
Yeah.
And then there's supposed to be something where beyond that, if you do some of those legendary missions that you get in there, then you can become a legendary captain, in which you will then be able to just spawn directly from the legendary island instead of one of the normal islands.
And you can build a customized boat.
Right. That can be that much more noticeable from...
That's supposed to be DLC.
That's
though,
supposed to
isn't
be
it?
DLC
Yeah,
that'll come
yeah.
out later in after the release of the game.
Eric, you know those little like that goblet that we found on in the
Yeah.
beach, and
Like the glowing
music
skull.
box and all those other things. Those could be sold to the guy in the tent. We never took them there, but they can be sold to the guy in the tent.
Really? But
Yeah.
the
We took
skull
them there.
couldn't.
The skull could.
No, the skull couldn't. I'm not sure what that one
But
was
I wouldn't
for.
be surprised if the skulls are part of the soul ones.
Yeah, the
But the other thing that they've mentioned is that with the with those fortresses that really weren't doing anything, there's going to be beacons that will show up, and you will see a giant skull in the air that you'll basically
Like
go
in the
to.
sky above
It's
it.
Yeah.
it basically is going to tell every
It's
pirate
going to tell
in
everyone
the area
in the area that
there is something big
treasure
happening there. So everyone, the good chance of multiple boats going to it
Right.
at once. And am I taking over, Kyle?
No,
I'm just
I
so
mean,
excited about it. And you'll have to fight a bunch of skellies and take their special gold. But then you have to get it out, and while you're trying to get it out, you may have other pirates attacking. So there's a good chance that someone may watch you do all the work and then come sink your boat as you're leaving.
Right,
that's
because
cool.
there's so much treasure that you can't just take it out one person or whatnot.
Yeah, they said there's going to be
So-
more treasure than there are people. So there's definitely more than 4.
Right. So you may come out and just
things of
have a
treasure.
bunch of ships that are just there waiting for you. But the other thing is that the further into the game that you progress, if you get to that point where you are a legendary captain, you could go out and have people that aren't at the same level as you randomly spawn on your ship, and you may have people that see your ship from afar and see that you are the legendary captain.
How are they going to spawn on your ship?
If you go ahead and
join
do
with open spots.
open spots,
Oh, okay.
instead of playing with your specific crew. So in that way, there are going to be players that'll be able to advance because they'll be playing these harder missions
Just
that they
like
wouldn't normally
anyone
have.
can put a mission down, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
everyone votes on it. So a legendary person can put a legendary mission down, and it's going to help other lower ranked players. There's a lot of players out there who will do that once they get so far up in the game. They see more fun in playing the game by like helping noobs play the game. So
Right.
they're making a mechanism for that to happen.
Well, and the idea of just being able to increase your status and get to that legendary spot, and then that there's going to be something where they will have a legendary captain that you can start at that secret hideout that was in the game that no one was able to get into.
Yeah, they said it was available in beta,
it's
but
in the
no
map,
one
and it's
actually
hidden.
got to it.
And you have to have the key or whatnot to get into it. But the fact that then you're going to be able to create yourself a legendary ship, they said that the idea is they want you to
And
be able
special
to
clothes.
have your own Black Pearl or Flying Dutchman, that there's going to be people that will see you from far and steer clear of you because
they'll
they
know who you are.
that you are a legendary captain. And so I don't know, it's exciting, the fact that there's so much to this game that is very much just
I want to be able to create my own
wanna
flag and do a men in a tub flag.
I don't know if it'll get
And I know,
that
but if it did,
advanced.
that'd be cool.
But yeah, it's crazy thinking about some of the things that they're going to put in there and what people will come up with to do, because they have mentioned that the early customization for ships will be the what is it that they call that on the front of the ship?
The mast?
The mast
The-
is it or no?
The figurehead.
The figurehead. Yeah, you'll be able to change out that, the color of your hull, and then what flags you're flying for your sails. So
I liked the shark one, man. That boat was cool.
yeah, but there is one that looks like it's a little more piratey, with like skull and whatnot.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm excited for this game to come out. It should be a lot of fun. Next story comes from Gamespot.com, and this is also about Sea of Thieves. So I'm not sure if we need to spend much time on it, but it just says new Xbox show will tease Sea of Thieves DLC, reveal new Xbox One features and more.
Yeah, they've got a new digital video that they are doing called Inside Xbox.
Something that's going to be on the Xbox
And it's
on
going
YouTube
to be,
and stuff.
yeah, I don't know if it's going to be on YouTube or if it's just going to be on Xbox.
I mean, it will be. Let's be
Eventually,
real.
I'm
Someone
sure,
will put it there. Yeah.
But the first episode that they are going to be doing will have a sneak peek behind the curtain of Xbox, and we'll also have some information about Sea of Thieves as well as the Xbox One features and more. So,
And that's a couple days from now, March 10th.
did they announce? Okay, this article didn't have an actual release date that it was in the video itself. I didn't watch the video.
Well, if you want more news about that, be sure to check it out. Coming from VentureBeat.com, it says Battlefield 5 follows Call of Duty back to World War II this year.
Yeah, they're going to be calling it Battlefield 5. They were originally, I don't know if that was something that the developer was calling it Battlefield 2, or if it was just what people that were writing articles were calling it. But it is going to be Battlefield 5. It's supposed to be an entirely new Battlefield game and not a remaster of the 2005 Battlefield 2. So it is going to be taking place in World War II. And
Going back to the roots.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, it makes sense after the success of Battlefield 1, where they were in World War I and Call of Duty's World War II. It makes sense that they continue to do that because it seemed like a lot of those players really responded to those very well.
Well, and you kind of have to figure, like, not that many. I mean, when you're talking about the younger generation that's playing games right now, that's half our age. there haven't been a lot of World War II games for
No,
them to
no,
play.
absolutely not.
Like we look back and we think of like,
oh my gosh, there's
Medal
so
of
many.
Honor, all the Call of Duties, all these other like
Yeah.
World War II games, and it's like
Yeah, but
they
they're
were,
old now.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like these
Yeah.
kids, they haven't really experienced it, so I
They
could
grew
totally
up on Black Ops.
see why this is kind of cool for them to kind of go back, and in some ways, in a historical perspective, maybe it intrigues them about it, and hopefully they maybe learn something about this very like pivotal part of our history. So it's kind of, in some ways, I try to look at it as a positive thing. I've enjoyed that in some ways, that the game's kind of making a resurgence because it's the better graphics, better
Yeah.
gameplay, that sort of thing.
We've had a few like World War II movies recently too, because Darkest Hour just came out. Dunkirk.
Yeah. So
Maybe that's just it.
but yeah, it's
really
kinda,
good movies though.
Yeah, back then it was like Saving Private Ryan and those, but still, it's cool. It's fine. It's not. I
Band
don't.
of Brothers.
I think people get worked up because you look at like the Modern Warfare stuff, and it's like,
want to run a gun, bro.
well, I mean, it's got a lot more traversing stuff, where or even like a Titanfall, which is an amazing game where you can where you can do wall running and wall jumping and stuff like that, and it's
Yeah, to go to something a little more realistic and linear,
little slower
from its,
paced, a little So I could see why people would complain about it, but it's a different play style.
that heightens, like, I don't know. I mean, Battlefield 1, it to me, yes, it was a totally different game than those other games, right? But it heightened that sense of how would you frame it? But that anxiety that you can only imagine if you haven't been in war, right? You can only imagine how much anxiety and fear and all of those
I'm
things.
sure it's like a fraction, but
that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, but it you don't sense those things in things like, like some of those other games, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
so it
'cause,
gives
like-
you that tension, I guess is the right term.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like when you're playing like a Call of Duty multiplayer, it's like it's always going to be another player. I mean, it might be a player that's way better than you, but like if you're playing Battlefield, it's like a lot of time you're just like, gosh, I hope they're not in the tank.
Yeah.
Or I hope they're not in a plane and they just dive bomb me or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor, would like you to know, Trevor, you forgot about Hacksaw Fridge. Okay.
Sorry,
No,
I forgot
it's
about that inspiring movie about a refrigerator.
And Fury.
That
Anyways, that's I'm sure it'll be fine. Whatever, it'll be cool to play. Battlefield's kind of a unique game, and with the large numbers that you can play with, even though now it's like they're kind of small when you can consider all the battle royale games.
Maybe you don't have a battle royale version.
How does it not at this point? Like, I hope it's like 50. At least if it doesn't, like, let's see 50 v50 on console,
be cool,
like instead of this 32.
and I think they could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that kind of what Battlefield 1 was? Was that
Was it
large?
50?
No.
I thought it was 32 v32. Maybe it was 50.
I thought it was 50-50.
They opened
maybe
it
it
up
was.
for a while to even more than that.
I can't remember.
I
But
don't
it was
think it
like
ever got
during.
more than 100.
I thought they did it during some of the testing. No, not more than 100. No, I don't think. I think you're right, but it was
It
definitely
used
large.
to always be 32 on console, but maybe they did. Maybe now you mention it, Kyle, maybe what is this? Let's get up.
Let's see.
Fact-
64.
Okay,
It
I
was
was
64.
right. Yep, 32.
So it
32.
wasn't quite as big, but I knew 16 seemed like it was a little.
I didn't say
small.
16. I said 32, 32.
Right, I meant 16 players on my team.
Oh.
Felt like that was a shorter
Yeah.
list than it would have been. So.
Well,
Yeah.
in Battlefield, it always makes it feel like it's way more people than that, because it just feels like there's constant action going on around you, and it's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So we'll see what comes of that. I mean, whatever. And then we don't have a story tonight on it, but I think they said that Call of Duty's going to Black Ops again, so it's gonna be Black Ops 4. So could be good. Call of Duty. All right, another story here. We're gonna have to kind of rapid fire through some of these. This is from Polygon.com. The Witcher developer teases a crossover for Geralt.
Yes, they've tweeted, what if Geralt was going to step out of the Witcher game for the very first time to make an appearance in one of the upcoming games later this year?
That's got to be Soul Calibur, right? That's the only thing that would make sense.
Well, there's two different things that seem like they are the biggest potential. It's Soul Calibur 6, which is supposed to launch sometime in 2018. Perhaps a new Smash Brothers title. That's
that would be so cool if that happened, but no.
I don't know.
It
That would be
probably won't.
interesting.
Other people have speculated Monster Hunter or Final Fantasy 15.
Final Fantasy 15's putting everything in there. I mean, at this
But-
point, they've got they got Mario in that. I don't know what they're doing.
I would love it if they put it in a Monster Hunter.
The thing that they've said though that is he has pointed out an upcoming game, so it should exclude both of those titles.
They could technically, it could be a PC exclusive for Monster Hunter because Monster Hunter, the PC version, not come out yet. So
Okay, so there you go. It could be that.
I think it's probably Soul Calibur.
It's got it. Soul Calibur is so well known for
And
doing
I think-
that with their games.
I think I'd rather it be that.
Wasn't
just
there another
because-
game that they said was potentially someone was theorizing was potentially in the same ethos as
That
Witcher?
would have been Monster Hunter World.
Okay.
That would
Yeah.
that would seem like it would.
Because
fit.
Geralt's a Monster
Yeah,
Hunter.
that's why I was wondering. But
Yeah. So I think that would probably be the only way, because otherwise, why would they say upcoming game if it's something that's already out?
Yeah.
So
We'll
it is exclusive for
see.
PC,
I mean,
there you go.
I mean, Soul Calibur. I'm trying to think. Like, didn't they for the last couple games? They always had they even had console specific.
They had
'cause
Link,
Link was in there.
Darth Vader
for PlayStation,
Ezio.
Link on Wii, and then they had Spawn on
Ezio.
Xbox.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Auditor. Is it
Ezio was in one
Ezio?
of them.
Yeah,
from that's Assassin's Creed, right?
yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. One last story here from Kotaku.com. It says Far Cry 5's map editor sounds totally wild.
Yeah, they're going to have an arcade, is what they're calling it, where you can go in and
It's like Gary's mod or something.
kind of. It's going to be something where you can do map editing, which is something that the games have had going back to Far Cry 2. But what'll be different about this is that there's going to be something that you literally will walk into it from the game. If you go into an arcade machine in a bar, it'll jump you into a Far Cry arcade, which
That's
then
cool.
will check out latest user-created levels, which are curated by the developers,
that's
and you
so
can
cool.
start playing
that
them.
is really cool.
And there's all kinds of different stuff that's going to be in them.
On this article, there's like a picture, and I just to kind of explain to people that aren't seeing this.
Yeah.
There's like a giant abominable snowman. There's a guy in a
Yeti.
racing suit with a bow and arrow, and then there's 5 pigs with birthday hats. So
Right.
I mean,
didn't see that picture.
the ridiculousness of it all
Yes.
is
Well, and they're
out
going to
there.
have content from
Yeah.
Watch Dogs, Assassin's
7,000 borrowed objects from Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed 4,
That's
Black
cool.
Flag, as well as previous Far Cries.
That's cool.
So, you'll have your Midwestern religious fanatics, but also Martian arachnids and Yetis. So
A little bit of everything.
That is
all
cool.
kinds of crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited
There's a
for this.
picture further down with a guy running at a bear and ice all over buildings and just chaos happening. So they did say that some of the stuff that you earn in it, as far as money and whatnot, will roll over to the regular game itself.
Oh, so there's a benefit to playing the arcade.
Right. So
That's
if you
cool.
play those, you'll.
But you can also
yeah.
make levels then, right? I take
Right.
it
So
you can
they
make
said
your own
you'll
levels.
visit these worlds as the same custom deputy you play in the campaign, and any experience points, perks, or money you earn while playing will cross over into the campaign when you're done. And no, that doesn't mean you can just create a level filled with cash and make yourself rich.
That's cool. I've seen some footage from this game where you can always kind of befriend animals in the Far Cry
Right.
games, and most recently I've seen where they've befriended a bear, cheeseburger, and they put a cheeseburger collar around it, and it just goes and fights bad guys for you, and I don't know.
Yeah, I've been watching the footage, and I'm so excited for this game now.
It just
Yeah.
it made me think of. Have you guys seen? There's 2 kind of funny series that are. There's one about Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. It's called Zach Morris's Trash, where they dissect an episode of Saved by the Bell and tell you why Zach Morris is a trash human. And
It's pretty obvious,
and
right?
It's really good though. It's really good because I think sometimes in that era of the '90s, you'd kind of sit back and be like, "Oh, Zach's the cool guy," and just watching him
He was the total bro.
yeah, and just
Yeah.
watching him be how terrible he was. But then they do this other series on The Walking Dead where they kind of tear apart that show as well. And I was just this just reminds me of it because in that series there's the King Ezekiel is it and he's got a pet tiger that he carries around or doesn't carry but he follows him around.
He rides on his back.
And but they show this scene from the TV show where the tiger is just like attacking this other group of like bad guys that they fight, not zombies but like other bad guys. And I just love this guy's commentary on it because it made me think of this. And he's like, what? Obviously, the only explanation for the reason why the tiger isn't attacking all of the good guys is because they put some sort of tiger perfume on, so the tiger would recognize them and only attack the enemies. And like it was just so stupid. But I was like, when you think about it, it's like and it's that suspension of disbelief that you have in Far Cry as well, where it's just like, obviously, I've done something here that's Disney level magic to get this bear to only work for me. Like,
Bear, you eat other people, not me.
Yeah, but anyways, it was funny. So that's that game's coming out this month. I'm excited to play that game. I love Far Cry games. They're always a good romp.
Yes.
That does it for our stories. Should we go to the mailbag? Dare we?
Unheard messages.
Emails, voicemails, or DMs. We want to hear from you.
Mailbox number, please.
It's mail time.
First message.
DMs stand for diddly squat.
Diddly mott.
Squat. Nothing's there. We checked our mailbag.
It's empty.
I mean, you would have thought we were delivering a calf how far we reached in there to find mail. And it wasn't there. Now, as we slowly remove this giant plastic glove that goes up past my elbow, we are going to bid you adieu, but not before we thank the Patreon peeps. These are the lovely people, the kind souls who donate. They give their money to us, and we spend it responsibly because we're adults. You can go to patreon.com/minuteintub and also become a patron, and we will be eternally grateful.
Do it.
We'll be there for you. We got your back. When times are rough, we're going to be there for you. We realize that, sometimes you just need help in life, and we want to be your friend. And you can join us on Discord, and you can talk about things. You can share your memes there. Because really what it comes down to is sometimes
Community.
you want to go where everybody knows your name. Why are you taking my music away, Kyle?
Because I got the thumbs up from Kuipers that the choral's gone.
Well, that doesn't mean I'm still in Patreon. We still play music while we're talking about Patreon.
All right. Dang it.
Gosh darn it. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. You don't have to keep the choral up. You can keep the choral away, and I can still talk about Patreon. I want to look them in the eyes, Kuipers, so you better not have that choral blocking my face right now. Amen. Making your way in the world today.
I just like
Takes
Taxes
everything
has
you
a
got.
really great,
Takes everything you
kind
got.
of take on this. He's like, whoa, 4 friends for the price of 1? That's right.
That's a bargain.
There's actually 6 of us.
Legally speaking,
but-
Patreon is buying friendship.
That's true. More than maybe companionship
Maybe.
if you give
The
enough
right
money.
circles.
Yes. All right. All right. That's it. That does it for our show this evening. It's
Didn't
been
turn the music off on you.
It's
Just
been
so
a
you know.
swell time. I know it ended. It's been a swell time. I've had a fun time talking about, definitely not talking about politics, but
Nope.
everything else. Talking about video games. It's been great. Thank you for all of your companionship this evening. Because you know what? Every Wednesday and
like you
Thursday night,
companions.
I do like to go where everybody knows my name. So
And that's right here in the tub.
And tomorrow night, we get all kinds of stories to talk about.
come back tomorrow night at 9 p.m.
See
Central
what kinds
Standard
of
Time.
Stuff Nathan's bringing.
Hey, also, we got a new Viaria out. That's on minuteintub.com/minuteintub. Just
Go
kidding.
check it.
It's actually on youtube.com/minuteintub. Go there, watch our new, it's a vlog, okay? Viaria is our vlog. Comes out every once in a while.
Go watch it.
Go check it out.
It's
all right?
funny.
You could go to our website too, though. You
Yeah,
know,
you think
swing
you
by
can
the
click on
store,
YouTube.
pick up some merch.
Store.minuteintub.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy one of our
All
shirts.
kinds
Bunch of that stuff there. Go
All
check
right.
it out.
Do it.
Good night, everybody.
Sleep well, gentle souls. We'll see you tomorrow night. Salutations.